Welcome to the next section of Motion UI Design Masterclass. Now you know the theory, now you know how to create actually all these properties, how to animate them, all these things. Now let's talk about how to share your animations, how to share them with people on Dribbble, on Behance, in your portfolio, and how to share your prototype or animation with your client. First of all, let's go to our Figma project. Here I created pretty simple animation. I'll show you how what it consists of, but first of all let me show you what it looked like. Boom. Then we see the website. Now we can scroll here. This is simple scroll with fixed navigation, and also at the same time we have some hover states for this prototype, and also I can click here in the navigation and switch between different sections of this website. Let's go back and boom, here we are. Let's go to the website itself. What I created here, let's go to the layers and prototype mode. Here I created this logo. This logo consists of two parts. This is the first part and this is the second one. Of course I have both of them here. Then after delay, I'm changing the position of the mask for the second part and just position for the first part with these parameters. For the next layout, what do I have here? I have just screen, but this is our overlay, great overlay that we have here at the bottom. As you can see, when I hover on this, I can see it. So in the previous state, we have it at the bottom. In this state, we have it on top of everything. So it moves from bottom to top. And it also happens after delay. For the next one, I move away, if I'll select this one probably. So for this section, this time, I'm changing the size of this overlay. So here I have overlay 2. When I go here to this page, I have overlay 2 here, but the size of it is just 1 pixel, and now it's at the top. I could change just the position, but in this case, because I'm going to use scroll on the next page, that's why I changed only the size of this element here. And now we showed the actual website. Then what I created here, when we are on this page, I also created here delay to the next one. In this case, I'm removing this 1 pixel grade line from this screen, and I go to the next, to the final position of our website. And the entire website is pretty long, like this one. I clicked clip copy, clip content here to see only what I will see on the screen. And this is what I have when I go to prototype mode. You already know that Figma released this feature where you can scroll on one particular element on the page. This is specifically useful for one-page websites and also for landing pages. And I'm just jumping to different sections of this website. When I unclip this content, prototype, when I click, for example, on this element, I go to this section. I click on this element, I'll go to the next section, and so on and so forth. And this state is just hover state for our Start Meal Planning button. I created this website about a year ago. This was my freelance project, and the website is live now. It's not exactly as it was designed because we didn't have connection with developers. They asked me only to design their website. So I created this one, and here, this is our hover state for this button. I'm just changing the color here and shadow to show you that we're using almost everything that we had in the practice section. So now we have this website, we can scroll, I can hover on this button, I can click on different elements, I can get back. I use the same animation for this one as for clicking on this elements. So now we have the prototype that starts from here. I reload it with R button. Now we have this one. how can I share this with the client, for example, or with my developers or project manager, just anyone. Here in Figma, when you hover at the top, there is a share prototype button. Click on that and just copy link. When you copy this link, you can send it using just absolutely any messenger, and share this link with just anyone, client, developer, project manager, or someone else. When they will open this link in their browser, this is what they will see here. They will wait, everything will be loaded. We'll wait a little bit again. Boom, done. Now what they can do, they can also reload it, and they will see all the animations. And then they can scroll, they can use it, they can test hover states, click on different buttons to see how actually this website works. So now they know exactly, and instead of just sending them just one image, hey, this is the design of your page, they will actually use it. They will think that, oh, this is real. They will be happier. They will be happier than if you send them just image, because also for the image it will be pretty long and it will be hard to navigate, while here they will see real prototype. And this is how you can share your work with anyone else. Now let's talk about how to export your animation. For this thing, in Adobe XD, when you created prototype, you can actually record the video because it allows you to record these videos. In Figma, unfortunately, they don't have this feature yet, but they are working on that. Yes, waiting for that. But now what you can do, you can use on macOS QuickTime to record the screen, and also on Windows you can find many different options that allow you screen recording. How I do that? I use QuickTime Player, cancel, file, new screen recording. And for this new screen recording, I choose the option record selected portion. And then by default, this will be like this, like full screen. What you need to do is you need to put your frame into that. And we know that our design is 1440 by 900, which is exactly like this. And then I just press record. When I press record, you can have this delay, or maybe you don't have it. So now we started recording. Starting from this point, I reload the page and show the video. The cursor can be outside of the screen or it can be on the screen itself. And then I start interacting with the website to show them what's actually happening here. I click on different buttons. I show them what's happening. Also, I use it for recording video for my portfolio, for example, or it can be Dribbleshot, Behance, or just anywhere. And you can record this way just almost anything. Boom, start planning. Awesome. Then I click done, record it. Then I save this video, save it, and I can trim this video if needed, for example, to remove the first part where we have this starting screen, but I want to start my animation from here. Like this will be our first. Yeah, this is where I'm talking. Let's switch it off. And here I show them the animation. This is recorded version. I already created that. And now how can I use this video? Of course, you can also record not only as video, you can record it as GIF if you are recording something like micro interactions. If it's video, you can also then use Adobe Media Player, not Media Player, Media Encoder, and then you can reduce the size, you can play with it and to do whatever you want. Here I have this recording. It was recorded in .mov format. I encoded it into MP4, and when I go here into this folder, this is my website MP4. And this is what I'm going to show on my portfolio, for example. So this is the video, how I'm interacting with the website. Then I go to my personal website. I'm using WordPress and also Simplis platform. This is like framework that goes on top, like plugin for WordPress. It costs not so much and you can use it for your portfolio. It's super easy, like no coding builder, where you can create pages like this one and start typing just anything. Done. Maybe I want to have this recorder, this column a little bit smaller, like this one, and then I'll create another column. I'll duplicate this one and then move this part here. So now I have two columns and I can move it on top, but that's not the most important thing, because this is not about portfolio. This is about how to share your work. And here you can also have add self-hosted video. I added this video here, uploaded it, done, save, publish, changes. Now let's take a look at this website here. This is what I see in my portfolio. This is not real project, so I mean, in this case, not real portfolio. This is just for presentation purposes. But as you can see, when you go to this page, you already know what's happening with the website. This is what you created. And this is much more powerful rather than showing different pictures. But if you remember that I told you it's better to use both. So I have this website here, for example, and in addition to that, I can add additional explanation, what the project is about, how many people worked on that, what my role was on this project, and how much time I spent on this one. And then in addition to this section, maybe I will add some screens or specific sections from the website, and I can add here just anything from what I already have. This is not from this project, but let's imagine that we already created and recorded everything. So in addition to that, I have images from the same project. Publish changes, watch, we see the video, then we have the explanation of it, then we have some images of our work, and we continue building this portfolio, filling this project. As you can see, we created this super fast and super easy. And this is how you can create your animations, your prototype, right in Figma, micro interaction, and share them everywhere. This is how you can do that. Share the prototype with a client, share the prototype for user testing, for example, with users. It can be website. If you created mobile app, you can also use Figma Mirror that user can install on their phone, and also you can install on your phone, and when the user is in front of you, you can just show them the prototype. They will click, interact with that, and they will tell you exactly what's wrong, what they don't like, or what they like a lot. So all these things, you will get the feedback about the product that you just created, and it's all from Motion UI design. Yes, because it includes also prototypes. So now you know how to share your works, and also how to share them with clients, and also how to export your works from Figma. In Adobe XD, it's a little bit easier in this case. I would say in Adobe XD, it's a little bit harder to create prototypes from scratch, but it's a little bit easier to export them. Once you created something, let's go here. So we have some work. When I go to play mode, here at the top, I have record button. When I click on that, it will start recording. In this case, I'm not going to do that. So this is how you record videos, and then you install them. XD in this case, a little bit better. And deny here. So guys, see you in the next video, how to present your works, how to explain them to developers. Hey, how to show what exactly to animate for developers. We are designers. What we need to understand that we are designers. If you know how to code, of course you can create your animation yourself using Webflow probably, or just, I don't know, pure HTML and CSS. But we are designers. This is what we need to understand first. When you're a designer, you don't have to know how to code, but you should know how to explain it to developers when you are sharing your project. How to do that? Figma or Adobe XD, these are prototyping tools, and they don't allow you to do anything that can't be coded. Because again, we are using simple stacked version of motion design where we go from state A, state B, state A, state B, and so on and so forth. This is what we use. So the animation will be easier than in Principle, for example, where you can have something inside of another animation, and Adobe XD where you just play with keyframes instead of creating these interactions. In Figma, when you created your animation, to show it to developers, first of all, show them the real prototype, the final prototype from the very beginning to the very end. Then you can explain them exactly what you want to animate. And in this case, for example, we want to animate this logo. How to create that? Show them and tell them exactly what you did. Hey, this is what I want to see. This is what I want to see as the second state, but to get to this state, we have logo here. And inside we have first part that consists of just this illustration, and the second part that consists of logo here and mask on the right side. This is the full logo, and this is the mask that lays here. And then what we are doing, if you want to present it to developer, you don't need to show them like, hey, then I want to use mask and everything. You can tell them if they don't understand, but what you have to say is what is changing in the state B. Like you have state B, what is the difference between state A and state B? And in this case, we see that we are changing position. What does it mean? That we need to take a look at these parameters, X and Y. This is our first part of our logo. And parameters that we have for it, 693, 403. In the state B for this section, we have 578, 402. But actually it should be 3 as well, because we don't change the Y position. We are changing only X. We are moving it to the left. And what do we have here? We need to make the calculation. We say to our developer, 693 minus 578. And you tell them, move position of the first part of the logo by minus 115 pixels. Or move the position of this element to the left by 115 pixels. That's it. And this will be your parameter. So if you need to create specifications for them, then you will create, you need to say, to mention the element itself, like logo part 1. Then the next thing will be position. Let's make it to the left. And for this element, what also I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to this. Position X minus 115 pixels. This is what we're changing for this part. On top of it, it can be animation 1, because we are changing from one state to another one. Logo part 1 is changing this one. Logo part 2, you are showing that mask stays on this position, but we are changing the element that is on the left. This one is our logo, and these are the parameters. Usually I use rounded numbers, but for presentation purposes, this is what we have. 428, and in this case, for this logo, we already have this part, logo, 588. Then you make this calculation and you write down here X. For this one, we're moving to the right. So it will be 138, something like this. Move the second part to this position. And that's it. So this is what you are creating. This is what you are using to show what exactly happening with these states. This is only if you need to create specifications. If you don't need to create them, you can explain them separately, or they will understand exactly what to do. For the next state, tell them that we need to move like this element from bottom to top. At the same time, this element can have, instead of position, for this overlay, we can use size as well. Use the animation that will be easier for you to explain to developer if you have to explain it to developer. Maybe they will find another way how to do that. For CSS, maybe it will be much easier to use something different, not position, or maybe not size. Maybe they will find another way how to do that. But in most cases, what exactly you created in Figma, what you animated in Figma, should be translated into code. So that's why if you used size, then it will be size. If you created position, then it will be position. In this case, the animation should work absolutely the same, because we moved, boom. Oh yeah, that's the difference, because we move the size first here and then immediately we move it here. So that's why we have this lag, which means that it's better in this case to use position. And here you'll just explain them. Fill, just change the position of the overlay to, this will be animation 2. And we will tell that this element, which is overlay 2, and we need to change Y by minus the height of the screen in this 900 pixels. So it was at the position 900 here. This is overlay, and in this case, oh, I selected the wrong one. Here, Y is 900, and here the Y for this overlay is 0. So we are moving it from position minus 100. You can also mention Y1 equals 900, Y2 equals 0. Can be pixels. This is also a possible solution how to present your animation to a developer. And that's it. Just choose the way that works best for you. Because I worked with different developers and some of them prefer to see. So I already know what's in the first screen because they use Figma as the coding, the handoff element. When you go here to inspect mode, you will see all these parameters. They already know these parameters. For example, here, when they will click on this element, and they already know that, okay, top 900 pixels. They already know it. So for them, you will just explain that minus 900. For other developers, they don't want to look at this. They want to know exactly where the element is. So that's why in this case, you will show them the second option. This is how to explain it to developers. Now you know how to do that. And you go through all these elements of the page. But first of all, show them exactly the final animation, the final prototype, because in most cases, if you're working with a good developer, they already know what exactly you mean and they can create it easily without your explanation. But when you need specifications, now you know how to create them. And these specifications will work whether you are creating animations in Principle, After Effects, or Adobe XD or Figma. And see you in the next lesson, which is just conclusion for those who chose basic and premium packages. For other people, see you in the Principle Masterclass.